Hey YouTube! Welcome to another episode of For the Love of Kevin! So this is going to be another episode in the series of people that aren't Kevin. And this next person has a vagina.
That's right. She is in fact a woman. The first of her kind to be featured on a show like this.
So you've probably already guessed who it is. Deirdre Barlow!
As you could see, the metamorphosis to Deirdre Barlow was a long and arduous process, but it was worth it.
I'm sure. That's right, and I've taken it to the next level by pulling this up here, as you can see.
Oh, it's blowing my mind. So now I think we should take a moment to talk about things that have inspired us about Deirdre Barlow, because, you know, she's been a big influence in my life. I'm not going to deny it.
So we chose to do Deirdre Barlow today because we were just completely inundated with requests from viewers. But also, I think you'll agree that she's just a personal inspiration for us both.
She really is. I think we should take a moment just to kind of tell the viewer that might not be so familiar with this fashion icon.
Who's that?
Don't tell me. Okay, so for me personally, with regards to the influence of Deirdre Barlow, when I was growing up, I just always wanted her to be my mother. I wished that I could have someone like her in my life as a role model. So I started to kind of channel the spirit of Tracy Barlow, and I tried to emulate some of the things she did in her own life. So, you know, I killed an abusive husband. And then I coerced the local deli owner into thinking he fathered my baby, and so by doing that I blackmailed him into giving me lots of money, and I also put his marriage with his trans wife, who's also called Hayley, in jeopardy. And then later I also had a stint in prison, and I think by doing that I really kind of learned who I was as a person, and I have Deirdre Barlow to thank for that.
That is really just inspirational stuff. And for my own journey, I mean, I think that the inspiration took on much more of kind of a maternal, just sort of like a much more mature role in the form of, and this is going to surprise you maybe, but the form that it took was Blanche, who is, as we all know, Deirdre's mother, in as much as she is actually Deirdre's mother.
Yeah.
And I think that it just involved a lot of maturity. And mostly, I was just very disapproving for a very long time. I was very old.
Yes.
I actually died for a while.
Yeah. Oh God.
And I think that all has just made me the woman that I am today.
I think so too, other Deirdre.
Thanks, Deirdre. So after all of that, I think both of us just reached a turning point in our lives.
Yeah, and now at this point we are just embracing Deirdre Barlow, both in body and soul.
But this embodiment can only go so far, and I think it takes one next step to really bring us to full Deirdre mode.
Beyond the superficial.
Yeah.
And that is through copious amounts of alcohol.
So, other Deirdre, tell me what you're drinking today.
Well, as we all know, Deirdre Barlow is quite a practical person, and in that practicality she doesn't like to spend too much money on alcohol.
But she still gives enough business to Deidre, and I'm not just talking about custom.
I'll say! So with all that taken into consideration, I have chosen Kinsey vodka, which is a cheap enough vodka, but it's still a good form of hard spirits.
And that vodka is actually named after the famed sex psychologist Kinsey, who had his own Kinsey scale, which determined, you know, what kind of sexuality you're on. And Deirdre Barlow once took that test, and the machine actually exploded.
Oh, and I remember that because I read it in the Psychology of Coronation Street Weekly for a class project I was doing in college.
Yeah. That was issue 47, wasn't it?
Yes, volume 3 of that year, I believe.
Oh, one of my favourite volumes.
Oh God, me too. I read it every night. It's my 50 Shades of Grey. And the beverage that I've chosen to mix with the Kinsey vodka is a drink called KX Energy Stimulation Drink. And we all know that Deirdre likes to be stimulated. So, I'm just showing you that label there, yeah. It's pretty Deirdre Barlow, I have to say. Look, yeah.
That was some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, fires up your body. So, other Deirdre, tell me about your choice of alcoholic beverage tonight.
Okay, no problem, Deirdre. Okay, so the drink that I've chosen today is a white wine, which is what it's called. It's wine, but it's white. And the reason that I've chosen this today is because, like a fine wine, Deirdre is aged. She's somewhat oaky.
Yeah.
She's a little bit fruity, you know, I mean, summer, whatever, autumn, it doesn't matter.
Not real.
So she has that aged and refined taste, but also like a fine wine, Deirdre is best served chilled.
So you're probably wondering about the significance of our wall art, and I guess we'll explain it to them.
Let's explain it all.
Yeah. So here we have Gordon Ramsay atop the head of an eagle. And the significance of this is, the little known fact about Deirdre Barlow was that she used to be married to an eagle. This eagle specifically, it left her for Gordon Ramsay. And this marriage in particular, it was the first interspecies gay marriage in the history of the county of Manchester. And just take a look at this caption right here. Do you want to read it out for me, Lieutenant?
Yes.
I mean, Deirdre number 2.
Stop. Assault and battery. Cook witness scuffles in jail. So this whole Eagle Gordon Ramsay thing was pretty traumatic. Ice-T witnessed the whole thing.
She got through it by listening to copious amounts of Westlife albums. Okay, well after this I'm so overcome by Deirdre.
I know what you mean, Deirdre. I mean, after all of this, like, I just don't know where Deirdre begins and Deirdre ends, you know?
I felt like this all my life. You don't even know who you are anymore!
I'm Deirdre!
I keep losing myself.
You're still here to me.
Deirdre!